So we watched Velma today, start to finish, episodes 1 through 10. We marathoned it. We hate watched it.
Watched it. Hashtag HBO renew Velma.
Hashtag renew Velma. Hashtag cancel Scooby-Doo outside of Velma.
We have a special guest star today. We have Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scoob.
And 6 bottles of Sailor Jerry.
Yeah, Scoob was left out of the show, but we couldn't leave him out of our damn video.
No. I gotta take that home. I can't put it in my van. Give me. So, Aiden, tell me what's the plot of Velma?
Velma is a mystery show, I guess, where Velma kids get murdered in Crystal Cove, and Velma has to solve the mystery of their murder to
We
find
can go
her
full
mom.
spoilers, don't worry.
Yeah, full spoilers.
To find her mom, and she's Indian, and she has a past friendship with Daphne, who's Asian, and Fred is accused of being the killer because he's white, and Shaggy is black and doesn't do drugs, and that's the joke, because Shaggy does drugs and black Shaggy doesn't, because black people would be stereotypical if they did drugs. And they kind of try to solve the mystery sometimes, but a lot of high school drama happens, and Daphne and Velma kiss, and etc. And they try to find the killer, and it's Fred's mom, and she dies. And then Velma twerks while covered in her blood after she dies horribly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
More or less the plot.
Connor, what'd you think of the Velma?
I thought Velma was a crime against humanity. I mean,
The crime against the Geneva Convention.
a crime against
crimes?
white people.
Cruel and unusual punishment.
This show is a strange mixture. Mindy, whatever, from The Office, is a 43-year-old woman who's very horny for high schoolers and wants to be woke by proving she's gay. Not in real life, but in the show, her character is gay. And everybody's gay.
There's a lot of gay people.
A lot of gay people.
If you're white of any kind, you're a horrible person.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to talk about this show without
Point out.
coming up. I mean, if you need proof that racism against white people exists, it's Velma on
It's
HBO Max.
It is. It really is.
Every white character is stereotyped as being a rapist, sexist, rich person. They're racist even though everybody calls white people dumb.
The absolute, just the fucking worst characters in the entire show.
They're the worst people on planet Earth.
The only white
So
person in
after
the show who's
about
not
halfway
evil
through
is
episode
Daphne's
1,
lesbian mom.
that's true. After episode 1, we lured down that a white person had to be behind the crime.
It's true.
It didn't take long because the show detests white people.
Hates them.
It hates
Every single joke in
white
this show is
people.
just like,
White man bad.
This show is the birth of a nation for white people. What the birth of the nation represented against black people is what this show represents for white people.
Yeah, okay.
It's really fucking racist, man.
There's so
Now-
many jokes about just white people bad.
Now I know how it feels. I bet Martin Luther King had a dream, and his dream was that white people would get ultimately owned. But we knew that it was a white person, so there were 4 options. Fred's parents, which were the most obvious because they were straight. Their relationship status of being 2 white people that were married made it pretty clear it was one of them. But then there was Don Knotts' character. He wasn't played by Don Knotts, but he's stupid. Daphne's lesbian mom.
And then
And Shaggy's dad. But Shaggy's dad was dating a black woman. So he was a red herring for a minute, but we're like, there's no way that it's true because he's woke. So we knew it wasn't Shaggy's dad, so we quickly deduced it had to be one of Fred's parents. I thought for a minute it was Fred's dad, because that would be the obvious answer, but that was a red herring, because what you have to remember, based on this show's logic, men are fucking stupid. And that goes by any race. If you're a man, you're fucking stupid. But if you're a white man, you're extra stupid. So he wasn't smart enough to do the plot. I should have. But his white woman wife is a controlling white person. So she knew. So she had to have been the criminal. Because she was smart, because she was a woman. Because men are fucking stupid. And white people are bad. So her dad, the dad was equally bad, but he was too stupid to pull off the crime.
Yeah.
So we knew what. So the mystery kind of solves itself about 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
But then let's talk about outside of that. I've talked about enough white racism. Let's talk about self-loathing humor. So Mindy, who's a 43-year-old rich woman, very privileged and rich, feels bad for herself for being kind of pudgy. So her character is an obese freak of nature, is how everybody treats her. But ultimately, everybody wants to fuck her. Men, women, and children. Especially children, because Mindy proves in this show that she's a fucking pedophile. Because we see numerous moments in this show of children naked. Like a disturbing amount. As an adult, I felt a little disturbed watching it. The CW does the same thing. The CW does the same thing. There's a lot of people that do the same thing.
This just follows.
If you're in Hollywood,
CW.
let's just put it this way. If you're in Hollywood, you can be a pedophile. That's not a big deal. And especially if you're an Indian woman who's 43 years old, there's nothing weird about showing nude children in your television show. Anyways, racism aside, let's talk about the quality of the jokes. All three of us laughed. So somebody on the writing staff, out of the 655 writers on Velma, there was an amount of somewhere in the ballpark of 2 decent jokes in the entire show.
I laughed.
I
twice.
did laugh
You laughed
once.
Twice.
I can't remember. I
Brad
moderately
laughed
laughed.
twice.
No, I laughed once.
Okay.
Don't
We're still at
don't
5.
misrepresent me, you white man. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. But anyways, I did laugh. We all laughed, and it was a low point because I don't like to laugh at this. Alright, let's move on to my next train of thought. How this misrepresents the Scooby-Doo franchise. Look,
It's not even a Scooby-Doo thing. Really.
I was a Scooby-Tuber for a while. If you watch circa 2019, half my videos were Scooby-Doo related.
You did
I don't
make
know
a few
why. I made a few
Scooby-Doo
Scooby videos. I made a few Scooby videos
Good
myself.
fear right there.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
How the fuck... The thesis of Scooby-Doo is there's a talking fucking dog that solves mysteries. There's no talking dog. And is it offensive of Mindy to make... Shaggy is horny for a girl, and she's an annoying bitch that gets in Velma's way when Velma's in love with Shaggy.
There's a love
Mindy hates all women who aren't her.
Mindy
Because
hates
every other
attractive
woman is a
women.
slut. Mindy hates attractive women.
All other women are attractive or sluts.
Every
who should be
woman
killed.
that isn't Mindy, as a 17-year-old, as a 43-year-old, who aren't pedophiles, if you're not a pedophile, or Mindy, or
What are you doing to
43
Shaggy?
years old but secretly 17 years old, you're a terrible bitch. Mindy hates women.
Mindy hates women. Mindy hates white people.
Mindy hates men.
Mindy hates men.
Mindy hates everybody that isn't
Mindy
Mindy,
hates
but she
herself.
especially hates white women.
She
Mindy
hates
hates
herself.
nice guys, but then she kind of changes her mind.
She
on that.
hates nice guys, but realizes that nice guys are. I don't know. I think she just is Because she hates herself, too.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
Because half the show is self-deprecating humor against herself.
Yeah.
It's just a hateful show. But anyways.
It is a hateful show.
But anyways.
It's like a Klan rally.
Mindy gets rid of the talking dog because that's fucking stupid.
Replaces the
Because
dog
think
with
about
a black
this.
woman.
Think about this. Every minute of screen time, Scooby's on screen, like the hypothetical Scooby-Doo, if Scooby-Doo was included in the show,
Yeah.
is another minute naked children aren't on the screen. And that's a big problem. So that would suck. The mystery was very predictable. The animation was shit. They do cheap callbacks to the original show that Mindy probably learned existed through Family Guy gags, because I don't think she's seen any Scooby-Doo. The gang itself, Fred was turned into a fucking joke. Like, for all the characters are two-dimensional in the original Scooby-Doo, but as time went on, Fred was like smart at traps, and he kind of had his own thing going. Like he was
the leader
he was
guy,
an
yeah.
airhead, but he was like a courageous, brave leader, and he was good at making traps
In
and
this
shit.
movie, he's the
In
white
this,
man,
he's-
child, crybaby, loser, idiot.
With a tiny penis, which
Tiny-
she mentions
literally
many times. Because
Every
everybody
character talks
sees,
about his tiny wiener constantly.
because he hasn't gone through puberty yet, so it's okay to see him naked and see he has a tiny wiener.
Yeah.
So it would naturally, he has a tiny wiener because he can't go through puberty because he's a whiny white boy. Yeah. But this show is pathetically embarrassing. It really is. Like, I actually, like,
Was this
nobody watched this show. Everybody complained about this show. But actually having sat down and watched it, everybody was right, even though they didn't watch it.
Everyone who didn't watch this show exactly predicted exactly what it would be and was completely right about what it is.
I would argue it's worse than I expected. I thought there would be some sort of pride to the show.
Something to redeem it.
But
nothing.
it screamed, Zoomers on TikTok, please like me. Even though I'm a 43-year-old, sad, pathetic, rich woman.
Just constantly making fun of just the original show, making fun of the white people were always the butt of the joke. The whole Daphne trying to just everything about it sucked because none of the characters were like how they used to be. Sure, and it's okay to go in a different direction, but they didn't have any character. It was just constant jokes about white people bad. Drugs are funny. Hashtag Me Too movement. It was awful.
Right. And you're also, so you're kind of, there's a lot of like missing the point of Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo was never a murder mystery either. It was a ghoul is spooking people. You should remember that this show was made to appeal to Zoomers who don't care. Because Zoomers watch TikTok, not HBO Max. And people like us and every other human being in the world, this isn't made for them. People who watch frickin' TV and not fucking TikToks and are 14. But even then, it comes as a sad, elderly 43-year-old woman with bad back and creaky bones begging to be cool again.
Mindy
When
Kaling.
even I don't think she understands the point. I think even the most woke TikTok kids, this is like the Steve Buscemi meme, hello my fellow kids, but the please play my clips on TikTok version. But here's the thing. Mindy's a pathetic, washed up, rich since she was born, piece of shit who hates herself and then turns around and complains about white people and makes stereotypes about every other race. This show is horribly racist against everybody, and it's about how Indian people should hate themselves. So congratulations, you made the most cynical show on TV trying to appeal to Zoomers, and Zoomers don't care about you, you old
I can't tell
Crone.
if it's Mindy Kaling trying to appeal to old, childless women like herself,
I don't think so.
or if it's actually going for Zoomers who will not ever give a shit about this.
What old childless woman?
The ones
What do they find in this show to
Mindy
appreciate?
Kaling.
No!
Hating white men. Because all they do all day is complain on Twitter about white man bad.
A lot of it seems like bitter towards specific people.
Mm-hmm.
Like
This is
Velma's
the most bitter show I've ever seen.
Velma's mom or Velma's dad got remarried after Velma's mom was missing for like 10 years or whatever,
But
and had a new kid, and then she started hanging out with her mom, who's so much like her again, and disowned her dad and her sibling because her mom was back,
Threw them
and
out on the street.
and they threw them out on the street somehow, and she hates them because if her dad wasn't a sexist pig, he would have just been alone forever and accepted that his former wife, who the second she is found and comes back, mentions he has like a tiny dick and couldn't satisfy her sexually, is the best he'll ever do. But he thought he was a piece of shit, and he deserves to kill himself. But he shouldn't have moved on and had a new child and tried to make himself happy despite his wife's disappearance. It's so bitter. It's so disgusting.
Every single element of this show is
and it's not funny.
Pretty sad and pathetic. I like how every episode is just like taking it out on popular people. Because she was an awkward dweeb in high school.
You think she's an awkward dweeb? She couldn't have been that awkward because I'm sure her parents are some fucking oil millionaires or some bullshit. I don't know what her parents did, but she was a Hollywood writer.
Since
Her
birth.
parents are fucking rich. You don't just become a Hollywood writer
No,
and live in any sort of college and don't live in any sort of fucking poverty. Early life. Mindy was born in the Hamptons and lived a beach life. She was homeschooled, so she didn't have a lot of friends, but she was taught. She was homeschooled and had a lot of time on the beach to sit there.
Her dad was an architect and her mom was a gynecologist.
Jesus Christ.
So yes, they were rich.
Where was she born?
Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Oh,
Not even Boston. She was born in the nice part of Massachusetts.
I don't know. It's called Cambridge, there's no way she's poor. I mean, come on.
Anyway, Velma the series,
What do you got to add, Grant? What do you got to add?
the fucking show was just the most hateful thing I've seen on streaming services, network television since I can't even remember. I can't think of anything else that was just this hateful. She hates white people, she hates men, she hates women, she hates pretty looking women. She keeps saying in interviews that Velma's like me, for real, for real. It's a fucking disgrace. And then she was one of the executive producers, so she produced this show so she could be Velma and place herself, self-insert the hardest thing anyone's ever
She became an
self-insert.
intern on Conan O'Brien when she was 19, so she was definitely throwing money around.
Jesus fuck. It's just every single episode there's like 8 jokes where it's like white people bad. And it's like, we get it.
Well, the jokes aren't just white people bad. It's also women bad women that are prettier than me bad. Women that are uglier than me are pathetic losers. Women that are as attractive as me are bitter that I'm smarter than them. Women that are successful business women are corrupt murderers. Men are terrible and don't care about women or children, even though women and children are fucking horrible and should be disowned and thrown on the street. Men don't deserve happiness. Men deserve to die terribly.
White people bad.
White people bad of all sorts.
Hot women bad.
Mindy seems to create her own class system within this show. Okay, and here's how it is. White women are the worst because they're both smart and white. White men after that because they're dumb
And what?
White men, there's never been a smart white man. They're stupid.
All white men are evil, but they're too stupid to act on.
Every other man who isn't white per se is misogynistic, cheating,
Creepy.
simping, creepy, sex perverts. And women, now pretty women who aren't white, because we've already covered the white women, are mean and wish they were white and are pathetic for wishing they were white. And then, as I've said, women that are as on the same attractiveness scale and are also of minority status in the United States on Mindy's level aren't as cunning or clever as Mindy and are fucking pathetic and all they want are men. And if they're uglier, then they just deserve to be genocided with the men,
for sure.
with the men and white women. That's the class system that is set up in Scooby-Doo, and talking dogs don't exist. So it's an interesting,
I don't think there's a
very
single animal
political
that's
show. There aren't animals in this show, because if there are animals, I'm sure
there's some bats.
Oh yeah, they're bats. I was gonna say if there's like a dog, I'm sure Mindy would throw him down the stairs and call him a second-class citizen. I'm shocked there wasn't a scene where Mindy just like beat a Great Dane to death as like a funny nod to how much Scooby-Doo is pathetic and hilariously stupid in a pathetic franchise in Mindy's eyes.
Hilariously stupid and pathetic.
Yeah,
It's sad. It's sad. It's really sad.
It's awful. It's just awful.
It feels like Mindy peaked in high school and she wants to make a show to prove to her classmates, she was homeschooled, but to prove to her hypothetical classmates
that she's so much better than them.
That
she's so much funnier.
She's the main character of the world.
She can buy her role as Velma because she's the executive producer.
The show's also just not funny.
Every single, there's a
It's
joke
not
every
funny.
10 seconds, and they're all bad. All of them.
Well, there's
like,
only one
constantly.
joke over and over again, usually.
It's not even like just white people bad. It's like, fucking.
It's whoever's in the scene with Velma is a stupid, dumb,
and then
idiot,
everybody,
sexist, misogynist, racist.
Everybody but
perks.
Velma and her mom are a piece of shit.
And then she owns them.
Piece of shit.
She perks her brow. She does the DreamWorks eyebrow and says something about how
She
she's
says
so much better than them.
a snide remark, and then it moves on.
And that's every single scene. Not a single minute goes by where she doesn't perk her brow and try to demean the other characters for just being not her. It's ridiculous.
It's pathetic. Yeah.
It's Mindy Kaling trying to be a smart aleck when everyone around her in reality hates her guts and wishes she would just stop talking. And that's the whole series. 10 episodes of that, 25 minutes an episode.
Also, the mystery is bad.
Mystery sucked.
The
It was all
mystery is
stupid.
really bad.
The mystery, yeah.
There's no like real build up to the mystery.
Till like
Like
episode 6.
pretty
or
much
something.
every episode after the first one, which establishes the mystery, is just like them shitting around and like
high school drama.
stupid drama.
There's also
The
no
turnaround
urgency
shit.
because the murders just stop after episode 2 for some
Only
reason.
3 people get
And
murdered.
then the murders are inconsequential because the people.
And then the
turn out to
murders
be
come
alive
back at like the
anyways.
last episode
And
to pick the story back up.
mind you, the people that were murdered don't really have characterization when they die, but once it's established that they're still alive, but they're just brains in jars, Mindy reveals their personalities and they're bitch whores who deserved it. Which the first girl who died's funeral scene, Velma straight up says they were bitch whores who deserved it.
Pretty much.
Because they were popular.
And then like
they were various races, so she doesn't just hate white people, but they were prettier than Mindy, so they did deserve to die.
the
ultimately.
mystery kind of just ends up
It's unfortunate.
solving itself.
Jack, are you thirsty?
I mean,
She's
like
just kidding.
at a
Just
certain
saying.
point, they find out that there was like a mad scientist who was Shaggy's grandma, And Shaggy's mom is like, here's a box that explains what's going on. And Mindy is like, oh, cool, now I know what's going on. And then they go to where the thing was going on, and they find Fred's mom, and she's like, yeah, I did it. That's the mystery. It just solves itself in like the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, there's no actual like mystery solving or clues or investigation. Like some woman just says, this is what's happening, and Velma says, okay, and then they go to the place where it's happening, and Fred's mom is there.
Whole trying to swap brains was so she could give Fred a good brain of a woman, so a woman could be in a man's position.
Because
not just that.
Their natural.
She was trying to take the brains out of smart people of color women.
No, popular people, and then she's
popular,
like, Velma,
smart people
actually,
of color women.
because you're an independent woman and who thinks on her feet, you're obviously the best candidate to be the president.
Because Fred's mom is a gold digger because she's pretty, but she's not that smart, but she's a gold digger, so she's driven to steal a man's wealth, which of course was passed down to him. So the idea was, pretty women want to steal privileged men who didn't earn anything but were passed wealth. And if a pretty woman who is driven to steal a man's wealth because they're pretty was put into a man's body, then they would be really good at business, like her. So basically, since Fred's mom was a pretty woman, gold digger, her idea was to make her son a woman gold digger, but get past the pretense of men's privilege by putting a pretty gold digger in her son's head. And as a white man and a gold digger combined, they would have such a serious amount of privilege, so much privilege that it would be the most privilege that could ever be privileged. I'm not like trying to like.
This is
the plot. I'm not trying to exaggerate. This is the plot. The plot is that white man is the most privileged, but white men are stupid.
And women deserve that privilege.
Gold digging women are conniving, evil sluts. So if you put a conniving, evil white woman, slut, whore into the head of a white man, they're an unstoppable supervillain. That's the plot of the show. And Mindy hates herself so much that she ultimately has to murder the gold digging bitch for being prettier than her.
Also, all of the mystery gang wants to fuck each other. Daphne wants to fuck Velma, but also Daphne wants to fuck
Everyone
Fred.
wants to fuck Velma.
Velma wants to fuck Fred, Daphne, and Norville. Shaggy.
Literally, the whole cast wants to fuck Velma for some
because
reason.
Scooby-Doo's black standard
because of her beautiful
wants
mind.
to fuck Norville.
No, it's because Velma's
And
beautiful
also
mind
Daphne.
as a sarcastic TV writer. As a sarcastic 43-year-old TV
Shaggy
writer
is
in the body
desperately
of,
in love with Mindy
in a
Kaling.
pathetic, privileged,
Daphne
pathetic,
is a lesbian for
loser,
Mindy Kaling.
ugly
Power fantasy.
Fred becomes a male feminist, but he's like still a evil dickhead white male feminist, and he wants to fuck Mindy Kaling because I don't know.
She's so strong and independent was the reason.
And Shaggy wants to fuck Velma.
Because
Shaggy's desperately in love with Velma because I don't know.
But then he moves on, and Velma gets really jealous
And then
thinks she's owed Shaggy.
And then Daphne is proof that apparently no one's allowed to just be friends in real life, because if you're Mindy, you're so attractive on a mental level that even your friends want to fuck you.
Even your sexy Asian bitch, slut, whore, popular girlfriends want to have
But ultimately
sex with
she's a bitch whore, and only Shaggy truly appreciated her or something.
And that all pretty women
And
are
but also
nice guys are the
also
best.
Shaggy's a nice guy.
Shaggy's a nice guy.
But he's like
That
a
is the
creepy,
one
weird,
point.
nice guy.
As a minority, the three of us are minorities. We're nice guys, and we're represented in the show through Shaggy Not Shaggy, Norville.
But up until she
Because
gets...
Shaggy's dumb. But
the
she
thing
says
about-
that nice guys are the ultimate guys to date. And we're nice guys.
No,
We're nice
you're
to
forgetting
girls.
one thing.
And then they blow us off by text and we call them fucking whores.
She blows off Shaggy the entire show until Daphne and Fred pretend to get back together to become popular.
Right.
And the only reason she wants to fuck the nice guy is as revenge against the popular hot slut bitch whore.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, hold this thought. Let's think about this for just a second.
You know,
hold on.
You want to fuck hot people, but nice guys are the
Hold on.
ones who will treat you good and simp after you.
Mindy Kaling was 18. She graduated 25 years ago. So she might just be like.
What is
Wait,
Mindy?
hold on. She might just get like a.
I forgot. She was
tiniest
born in
bit
like.
out of touch.
Well, she was born like. She's a baby boomer. She was born right after World War II.
No, she's a Gen Xer. She was born 43 years ago. Wait, she was born
44
in the 80s, 1980.
Yeah.
So she was 18 in 98. And believe it or not, it's been 25 years since then. She hasn't been in high school for 25 years. So she hired a bunch of Zoomer interns to write a shitty show, but they're Zoomers, so they don't have any talent in writing.
A quarter of a century ago, Mindy wasn't very popular in high school, and she's still bitter about it, so she uses her privilege and power
Her privilege,
to
her
hire-
money, her inherited wealth.
to hire a bunch of people, probably for less than shit,
To make her
to
look
write
good
a show,
as a teenage
no,
Indian
to
woman.
write a show about how sexy she was as a 17-year-old girl, so that she could send it over to a sweatshop in Korea to be animated.
She's not sexy, but she's so smart and talented that everyone wants to fuck her anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they want to fuck her because she's the main character and she's self-inserted.
Yeah, she's the main character.
So after these underpaid interns who just desperately want roles to get into their dream career in TV, wrote this terrible fucking show that she was the head writer of and executive producer of, she sent it off to the sweatshop in South Korea to be animated so she could finally live out high school the way she imagined it originally. Congratulations. But anyways, I just want to give her a round of applause because that was good job.
And
Congratulations.
And clap.
It only took you a quarter of a century, but you finally lived high school the way it really should have been. And the ultimate lesson of this is be yourself, unless you're anybody in the world. There's 8 billion people out there that shouldn't be themselves. But if you're Mindy, whatever the fuck her stupid ass last name is, as a middle-aged woman who desperately wishes she was still in high school, you should be yourself and everyone will want to fuck you. And that's the moral of the story.
Don't
let's
be a white
remember.
man. Don't be white, don't be a man, don't be a woman in power, don't be an Asian woman, don't be a teenager, don't be an adult, don't be old.
Right.
Kill yourself.
The only acceptable...
Just fucking kill yourself.
Mindy wants us to kill ourselves.
Just be Mindy.
Just be fucking Mindy.
Just be a middle-aged Indian woman past her peak at the worst part of her career, being the worst part of everything she's in. Just be her.
Why don't you just be born to rich parents so you can write for The Office at 19 years old, and then 40 years later when you're 65 years old, LARP as a high schooler and say everybody wants to fuck you? Why didn't you just do your life that way, asshole?
Why not just be Mindy Kaling?
Why not just do your life that way?
Kill yourself.
Pathetic
reincarnate as
piece
Mindy
of
Kaling.
shit.
You
literally
fucking asshole. Kill yourself.
I'm not telling. No, I wouldn't say that.
No, that's what she's saying to us.
YouTube.
Well,
For
no,
YouTube,
no.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, cut
what
this
I'm
out.
saying is, if I was,
You're forgetting one thing.
What?
If you kill yourself, then you can't serve Mindy Kaling.
That's true. That's
everyone
true.
exists to be toys of Mindy Kaling's desires.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's right. That's
We
Actually,
forgot
watch my
something
show.
important, boys.
So finish my show.
Buffalo chicken colored hair.
I was
Here's the
gonna get
thing.
to that. I had 2 more points to talk about.
Talk
First
about
off,
what do later.
motherfucker, Mindy, bitch ass piece of shit. I'm not mad about anything else in the TV show. I was just making fun of you. I'm mad about one thing, and that's that. On Valentine's Day, I was stood up by my bitch of an ex-girlfriend.
Hey, this is gonna come out pretty close to Valentine's Day too.
Yeah,
Valentine's Day is Tuesday.
it's an anniversary of the damn video.
We'll release it on Tuesday.
It's about to be an anniversary for my video. So what I can say is my bitch of an ex-girlfriend stood me up on Valentine's Day, so I made a video called The Top 10 Hottest Pokemon, and I said Misty had buffalo chicken colored hair. A very specific joke that I don't think most people would make. But Daphne makes a joke about having buffalo chicken colored hair. Plagiarism. Mindy, send me my check or you're getting fucking sued. Just kidding, I'm poor and your parents are rich, so I'm not going to touch that. But if I was rich,
too, but
if I had rich enough parents to sue you, our parents, and you weren't like 150 years old and grew your own wealth, going through the office or working on the office or whatever, you know what? If we both had super rich parents, our parents would get in a lawsuit battle and I would fucking win. Because I made that joke 3 fucking years ago and you took it for your shitty ass television show. The most famous, and it was like episode 1, so people actually saw the joke.
Episode like...
No, if it was in like episode 10, I wouldn't care.
It was like episode
because
3.
Nobody finished the show but us.
Or 2.
Nobody finished the show but us. So if you put it in episode 10, I don't care. You're trying to fill out your thing. But you stole my joke. And you put it in episode 1 where everyone saw it, and then it'll be accredited to you. Until I put the clip here with the timestamp, the date stamp, you're caught. We're going to put the clip of the joke in here too. Aiden's going to edit this. And there's going to be cool CGI effects. And there's going to be a cool CGI dog. Because this video can have a talking dog. We're not so fucking pretentious that we have to cut our talking dog out. The thesis of Scooby-Doo is having fun with a talking dog and fighting stupid people. I watched all 6 seasons of a pup named Scooby-Doo in 3 days. I'm done talking about this. Grant, do you recommend a pup named Scooby-Doo?
Local news report.
No,
February 14th, where it's a very sad day for the public. Local YouTuber Connor Upson has bombed a library, citing Mindy Kaling stole his joke.
No. If my brakes are cut and I die, if I die in the next couple days, it was Mindy. She's pissed. Because I called her out on stealing my fucking joke.
I can't believe she stole your joke. Because there's no way
my fucking joke.
There's no way our intern Zoomer wasn't watching top 10 hottest Pokemon characters and did not see.
They're probably watching my Scooby-Doo drug addict video.
2 minutes 34 seconds into
my
the
theory,
video.
they were watching Scooby-Doo drug addict video to try to get Scooby-Doo related jokes.
And then that popped up.
And then hottest Pokemon autoplay. And then they stole my joke.
They stole it.
Seems weird that I'm a Scooby-Tuber and my joke was stolen by a Scooby-Doo show.
I feel confident saying she stole your joke. No one else would have made that joke. And that video got a shit ton of views. Some writer brought that joke up to her, pitched it as his own joke, and she was like, "Oh, can we use that?"
Stolen. I'm just bitter. This is a great show. In all actuality, if I'm taking away my pretensions, it's a great show. I'm just bitter that they stole my joke. Yes, because I hate everybody but Mindy as well.
Fuck Mindy Kaling.
This show was made just for Mindy.
Awful. She's fucking awful. Executive producer.
This show was made for nobody but herself.
This is the ultimate.
It's embarrassing.
I don't know.
It's really embarrassing.
The ultimate vanity piece.
I would not recommend this.
I wish she would end her career, but she was worked on The Office, so her career is invulnerable.
Personally,
I'm sure she'll work on like an Amy. Worst case scenario, she writes jokes for Amy Schumer or something and just keeps a steady paycheck until she passes away.
Yeah, Lena Dunham or Amy Schumer.
Look, I think
they're all in the same group.
Anyone involved
Although
in
I think
show,
Mindy would have been ranked the highest out of Amy Schumer and Lena Dunham, but after watching this show, I think she at least dropped under fucking Amy Schumer. She's probably still above Lena Dunham. She's pathetic.
I mean,
anyone involved with the making of Velma, that's the producers, the writers, everyone should have their legs removed.
No, I just think Mindy. I totally 100% blame Mindy.
Oh, if we're centralizing this to one person, she should be euthanized.
The animators.
Don't give me that eyebrow.
But think about it. The animators are in a Korean sweatshop. They had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
They did what they were told.
The writers
are probably the cheapest unpaid intern writers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Who are given instructions by Mindy Kaling.
There's probably 2 or 3 yes men who are like executive writers in the writer's room with Mindy.
Yeah. Who laughed at all of her
who had to try to structure this into a show.
Yeah.
But still put Mindy's self-deprecating, self-insert bullshit into the show.
Yeah.
But
Mindy Kaling was probably good, right? Oh, he just vomited. You okay, bud?
I swallowed wrong.
Oh.
oof, leave that in as an epic
Leave it in.
fail.
Leave it in. Epic fail, play the Thug Naruto theme. Anyway.
Yeah, put the fucking Naruto rap theme in this. How long has it been? Aiden, let's get some editing. Those Drunkviews have been a little lazy on the editing lately. Let's get a fucking anime rap theme in here. I'll send it to you.
Look.
The Hood Naruto.
Look.
Hood Naruto. Hood Naruto.
This has nothing to do with the fact that Mindy Kaling is an Indian woman.
I like Black Panther.
I-
Wakanda forever. I'm
I
not
think
racist.
Mindy Kaling should be put down. Not as like just because she's committed
Because she's
atrocities in the form of Velma, and I think there should be repercussions for. Don't leave this in because it's gonna be end up on the news.
I mean, at this point, we're just this whole video. It's either we upload this video as is, or we just don't post it at all. But here's the thing: I don't think anything that was said today is off base. I don't think we
We're
made
not overreacting.
incorrect assumptions.
We're not overreacting here.
And it's not me saying she's so mean to white people, which she is, but she hates everybody of every race, every color. She doesn't use the typical stereotypes, but she has her own opinion of every race, every sexuality, every gender, and every person. And it's that everybody's a massive piece of shit and they're fucking
I mean, you can
stupid
tell
and
she
less
believes a
fair.
lot of the stereotypes too. 'Cause
No, she 100%.
the entire
believes
joke of
everything.
the show is that Shaggy is a Melvin because he doesn't commit a bunch of crimes and smoke drugs. And because of that, it's funny.
And yeah,
Which
that's
means-
the funny part of the joke
which
is
means
that he
that-
diverts black stereotypes.
She thinks that all black people do a bunch of drugs and commit crimes.
She's hiddenly racist in the show. She says, "Oh, but look at this character Shaggy. He's the exact opposite." I'm shocked at a point he didn't say Mindy didn't give him some fried chicken and watermelon and say, "Don't you like this?" And Shaggy said, "Whoa, what do you think? All black people like fried chicken and watermelon?" I hate fried chicken and watermelon because not all black people like fried chicken and watermelon, just most.
Every single
Like it's like because Shaggy just absolutely does the opposite of every stereotype, and that is her way of stereotyping him.
look, every single character of all creeds and races does the eyebrow perk in every scene.
That's true.
So we're all united in the fact that we're all smug
They all do the
assholes.
fucking shark tail eyebrow.
The shark tail eyebrow.
The Shrek eyebrow.
Also, can we just talk about the number one problem with this show? It defeats the thesis of Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo was a very white show, I'll admit it. Every character, I do not know if anybody but white people had ever appeared in a Scooby-Doo cartoon before this.
I believe
I
literally
will-
every character
The
was
Harlem
white.
Globetrotters.
The Harlem Globetrotters!
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo was woke, I take it back. I take it back, Scooby-Doo was woke. But, no, I'm just saying, like, you know,
It was
the
made
whole
for
point
white
of Scooby-Doo is that it's mindless fun. It's just for people who there's.
It's a bunch of hippie Melvins going around.
if you
solving
look-
crimes.
Yeah, it was
like,
a bunch of white people.
the
it was a show for
primary,
white people.
most iconic Scooby-Doo shows. I mean, there's like some deeper, like fan favorite Scooby-Doo shows where they introduce romance and shit. But if you look at the core thesis, it's for black and white characters with basic character traits. Velma, the smart one. Fred, the handsome one.
Leader
Velma,
kind of
the hot
sentence.
one. Oh yeah, Fred is the leader / hot one. Daphne's hot and gets captured. And Shaggy, he's a fucking idiot.
He's
And
hungry
then
and stupid.
He's
That
hungry and
one's so
stupid.
right.
And Scooby is his dog who's hungry and stupid. And they get captured and and when they're in peril, they like Scooby and
Things
Shaggy.
accidentally work out.
Scooby and Shaggy trip and cause some sort of fucking, what are those, Rube
Some
Garrett?
kind of Rube Goldberg chain
Yeah,
reaction.
Some
that works
Rube
everything
Goldberg reaction, which causes the person to get covered, they get crushed by a big ass rock, and as he's dying on the ground, they peel his mask off to reveal he's a mustachioed old man, and they say, "Oh, Mr. Garrett, you were the criminal.
You were
And
trying
then
to raise real estate
two
prices
police
by scaring
officers-
off people."
You were trying
And
to
then-
lower the prices of real estate by scaring people so you could buy them and then upcharge everyone.
Yep, and then the police officer comes out and is like,
Thanks, kids.
Thanks, kids. And then the guy's just,
I would have
you
gotten away with it.
meddling kids. And then rinse and repeat for 200 episodes, and
More
then
than that. Fuck me.
reboot, and moderately reskin for 50 years. And then eventually they came to the point where they said, Scooby-Doo needs a woke reboot, was the pitch. But it wasn't a woke reboot, because it hates
It was
everybody.
racist.
It's racist against everybody. It's sexist against everybody. Except for the OG, amazing
Those two characters do not
god of characters,
Velma Dinkley.
Velma Dinkley,
And
who
her
is secret,
Mindy Kaling.
terrible
aka
family.
49-year-old menopause going through ass Mindy Kaling.
No kids having, no husband
kids.
having.
Looking back on her life with regret, wishing she could relive it. When she decides to pitch a terrible show to HBO Max, where she said, "We're gonna make the woke Scooby-Doo for the TikTok generation," and then stupid HBO Max was like, "We'll give you $5 million. Send it to the sweatshops in South Korea," and then they
What?
fucking ripped off Steven Universe. Steven Universe is some bullshit, but I will give Steven Universe, at least it's a bunch of dumbasses creating something with lore. You know, at least somebody cares. No one cared.
Even if it does have the Cal Arts style and
This is
it's terribly
embarrassing.
written. But the thing is, I'm trying to think of like, what if Velma, instead of saying, Fred is a white man with a tiny gun, what if she said, Fred is a black man committing crime, what else is new? If you flip the races from white man to black man and it's constantly targeting these people, it's still racist.
Right.
It's just, instead of making jokes about other races, it's just targeting white people, and
Well,
that's racist.
It's okay to use cheap stereotypes to
Yeah.
make fun of white people.
It's okay, but you can't do it like 50 times and expect everyone to laugh
It's
every single
fine.
time.
It's fine, because you gotta remember, George Washington owned slaves, so
Where we go with this?
poor white people are also privileged.
White people bad.
And forget about the idea that Mindy might be privileged, even though she's a fucking millionaire.
Rich 43-year-old
Born rich
single,
millionaire.
single, no kid having writer in Hollywood who somehow keeps getting work despite her track record being absolutely awful.
I'm shocked Mindy hasn't done it. Mindy probably sits at home and says, "I can't believe I came from the bottom. When I moved to Hollywood, I just had a $12,000 a month rent condo in Beverly Hills that my parents paid for, and now I rate Scooby-Doo and live in a $50 million mansion. Look at me now, Dad. Look at me now." And then her dad has the mansion next door because he's also rich. I bet her dad's a piece of shit. She probably has a half sister or something, because she was clearly bitter about something.
Mindy
With her dad.
Kaling deserves her legs broken.
I don't know about that. She just
We're coming for you.
She deserves it.
Allegedly. I'm joking. Leave it in.
She deserves to have season 2 of this shit show canceled before it happens.
She
No.
deserves to be sued for wasting 5 hours of my life.
Let season 2 happen, so it can be the biggest failure to ever come to HBO Max, and she ends her career. Because here's the thing: this show everyone hate watched because they thought it'd be a piece of shit, and then everyone was right. But then, including us, are guilty of this. gave it views. So HBO says based on the metrics, this outperforms The Flight, starring Penny from The Big Bang Theory. So it gets a season 2. This is our Stranger Things. This is our moment.
We did this.
We fucking
This
created Velma.
This is our fault. This is all
HBO
our
Max
fault.
headquarters is gonna have a fucking massive mural of Velma painted on the side of it, and all white people and women and children.
Look, I wouldn't recommend this
The
shit.
joke is that everybody gets fired except Mindy.
You got a little something. Whatever.
Good, I'm drooling. I've been talking. So Aiden, would you recommend
No,
Velma?
Velma is a lot of things, but it's mostly just kind of sad.
Kinda sad. It's pretty
Kind of
sad.
very sad.
Yeah.
And it's also not funny, and it's not a good mystery. It's not a good drama.
It's not.
It's
even,
really not a good anything.
It's not funny bad.
I think
it's
the
not
fact that
entertaining bad.
it managed to make me laugh literally twice in 10 episodes is shocking that it managed to accomplish that much because it's so pathetic and miserable. Yeah, no, there's no reason to watch this. Grant. Recommend the Velma or don't.
I think I wouldn't recommend Velma. Don't hate watch it. It's not even entertainingly bad. We got some good laughs and har-hars making fun of it, but
I don't
it's
even
just not
think
worth
so.
it.
I don't remember any time making fun of Velma and laughing. I don't remember making any jokes. I remember us sitting there deadpan, drinking like alcoholics. We bought 6 fucking bottles of Sailor Jerry's. We drank like grandma alcoholic living in the trailer park, beating her grandchildren that she has to raise because her daughter was too busy smoking meth to raise the grandchildren. We were drinking like that. We were sitting there in our fucking rockers. The children haven't been bathed in 6 weeks, and all they eat is fucking Chef Boyardee ravioli cooked on the stove.
we laughed
In the same dirty fucking pan.
Look,
That's what it was like. It was depressing. It was sad.
We made fun of Mindy
Grandma used to be
Kaling.
hot in 1950.
We made fun of Mindy Kaling being way past her prime and not being talented and sucking at the one job she made a career out of. And isn't that kind of funny that she's still terrible at the one thing she thinks she's good at? But that's the only
It
entertainment
doesn't
we got
matter
out
if
of
she's good
Velma.
or bad. Her parents are rich.
That is the only thing we found entertaining with Velma was beating a dead horse and saying Mindy Kaling isn't talented, which everyone already knew. Connor, would you recommend Velma?
No.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I need to keep talking. I'm just kidding. No, there's nothing else to say.
We said
There
it
was
all.
our post-mortem. It's mostly just us insulting Mindy What's Your Face for her fucking
Which, by the way,
hour.
this was all joking. We're not really going to hunt down Mindy
No, it
Kaling
doesn't
and
matter.
execute her in a ditch in California somewhere.
I'm pissing on Mindy Kaling's grave right now.
Honestly, guys,
I'm pooping on it.
you guys can do what you want. I'm gonna try to fuck her because apparently she only likes white men. So I'm gonna try to fuck her and I'll just be a gold digger, and I'll prove that white men can be gold diggers too, and that we're also smart, and that I can gold dig and I can fuck her and make $1 million. And when she mysteriously dies, and I inherit $10 million or whatever her net worth is. I'll be really sad that she's dead. I'll cry about it and I'll wipe my eyes with $100 bills.
When she mysteriously dies.
When her brakes mysteriously stop working in her Ferrari, I'll be really I'll be sad, man. I'll be one of those guys where everyone's like, my Netflix documentary where they accuse me of murdering her, they'll be like, friends of hers will say it's so weird that he didn't cry at the funeral. It's because I used up all my tears before the funeral. When the cops say they checked my phone records and saw that I called a hitman to cut her brake lines and I paid him through the dark web with Bitcoin, I'll say, well, You can check whose Bitcoin wallet that is. It's Mindy's. She owns the money. So maybe she called a hitman on herself. It wasn't me. Really fucked up. That she killed herself. Suicide by hitman. I don't know what to say. Give me my $10 million plus $750,000 life insurance. Like, it'd be really fucked up if you didn't, give me that.
Scooby.
To remember about, yeah.
Scooby, what did you think of the movie? Scooby, what did you think of Velma in
I'm done with this.
do a Scooby impression? That was great. Please don't leave in the part where I threatened to kill Mindy Kaling.